Research is out there that shows that gay and trans youth and non-binary youth are more likely to be kicked out of their homes, or to be removed from their homes because of abuse that's happening in the home. Now, whether that is in response to their sexual orientation or gender identity is not entirely clear, but we do know that they are at heightened risk for abuse at home. And then group homes and foster homes aren't necessarily any better. And so I think young people start to run from placement to placement to placement. And, in between homes or couch surfing, get connected with other young people who are surviving, whether they're gay or straight, but out in the streets surviving. And I think you do start to engage in behaviors like survival crimes that lead to incarceration.
I was raised very religiously by my father. And so for a long time, I suppressed a lot of my LGBT feelings. I didn't know really what they were. I didn't understand them. And I thought that it was wrong. I was taught from a very young age that homosexuality is wrong. Trans people were what even is that? And then when my mom found out my dad was teaching me that, my mom did a 180 and was like, no, I'm going to teach you that all of this is totally fine and it's okay. So it was kind of odd. When I was with my dad, it was very much this whole trans thing is not going to happen. We're not doing this. No. And so there was really no hope for transitioning. And I had actually looked into getting hormones illegally. In my brain, I was I could get testosterone without a doctor. Because that's how bad I wanted to transition. And I was binding my chest with Ace Wrap daily. I did not care about my well-being physically because mentally it was so painful. But my dad just didn't care. So it's I did a lot of things that were harmful to myself because it made me feel mentally better. Being in an unsupportive family can pose a lot of mental risk. And I think that's something that's overlooked a lot. Because I know even though my mom was much more supportive than my dad, once I started transitioning, the house environment was so stressful. And I moved out by 19 because I was I can't do this.
There's also a huge school component that happens for gay and trans young people who are hearing all kinds of comments at school, both from young people, but also from teachers and administrators. And so I think young people become disengaged from school and start skipping school and hanging out on the streets and start to engage in behaviors that get criminalized instead of contextualized.
Just from experience, every trans person I know who has had a supportive family is so much better off, mentally. They don't have any sort of trouble. They've never had to be forced into sex work. They're not into any sort of illegal drugs or anything like that. No alcohol abuse. A supportive family can literally be life or death for an LGBT person. That's not an exaggeration. It is a life or death thing for many LGBT people, whether it's on the mental health aspect, whether it's on the housing aspect of being kicked out or anything like that. A supportive family really does make a difference.